Hey, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Five Questions with the Paulists. I'm Deacon Mike Hayes, and today we're going to go out to Grand Rapids, Michigan, and the newly arrived
Yes.
Father Ryan Casey is out there. And Father Ryan, welcome to the program.
Hey, I'm glad to be here.
Awesome. So, question one, let's get right into it. You
Okay.
you have been a priest now for more than 6 years. So, what's your favorite part about being a priest?
Uh, the basics, right? Saying mass, being a part of the community is big, but I'd say my favorite moment and the thing that I still get choked up a lot about doing is listening and being in the confessional.
Hmm.
Being that way of God using me to kind of to share his grace and his love and his mercy, and then to see the impact that that can have on and people who come in to receive the sacrament of reconciliation. It's amazing, and I still sometimes walk out of that confessional just going like, wow, like I'm in awe of what God can do if we just say, I'm not perfect and I don't have things figured out and I need help. And the weight of my sins is just too much for me to handle. Just that kind of recognition and being able to be that and to share that with people and to provide that means is something that I don't take for granted any day that I'm able to do it. It's just a great moment and something I think I just cherish anytime I get that opportunity.
Father Ryan, that's choking me up. Thanks. And I went to confession today, ironically.
Good. We want more to people to do that.
There you go. So, question number two. What's your favorite day of the year to preach on? Is there a particular day of the readings that you love to give a homily about?
So, yeah, I'm a big, I love preaching. I love working on homilies. I'm a Paulist, so of course that goes with it. Uh, but I'd say my favorite day and favorite reading section is, it happens a couple times, but the fourth Sunday of Lent,
Oh,
or also the 24th Sunday on year A and C, the prodigal son, that scripture reading. Um, it's one of those scriptures that I'm a storyteller. I love telling stories, and it's a story that's lasted, thousands of years. It's that message that no matter where you're coming from or what you're experiencing, you're like, oh, I can relate to that. I can relate to this person or that experience or that. And it also just shows that unrelenting love of God that's going to chase us down and give us that, like, hey, we're in this, I'm doing it, and I want to share this with you. Doesn't matter where you've been, your future is more important than your past. This moment here does that. And then the other way is it's a challenging one to write on because everyone has heard it so much. So for me, it's fun because it's like, what's the new thing I'm going to tell people about this? What's the new angle? What's the new spin? Where am I coming from today versus where it was, last year? So it's a challenging one to prepare for and to do it just because the message is so known, but it's also the message that's so needed.
yeah. And three really good characters, and the father, the son, and the
Yep.
older brother,
Yeah.
right? You can go a whole bunch of different ways
Oh
with
yeah.
that. That's awesome. So, question three, we have a time machine. We're going to send you back to the day before you became a Paulist novice. What advice would you want to give to yourself on that day?
Um, well, I went in not knowing what I was going to do, right? I'm just going to give this a go, right? So I think for me, knowing now, looking back, I would just let myself know, you know what? All those things that you doubt about yourself, that you're not sure about, the things that you did are like, these are the weird things that make me who I am that don't make me fit in all that well. Those are going to be the things that are going to be the high points of the way you use your ministry. Those are the things that are going to become your superpowers if you just trust God to allow him to use whatever you're going to give and give it to him in his service. That's the way you're going to, when you get through all this and all those doubts are out of your mind and you're like, this is who I am, this is what I want to do. That's the things that are going to make you be able to share God's message and bring it to life. So don't shy away from all those things that you're like, oh, I wish I could change this. Be open, though, to say that hey, some of those things are going to be formed better because of formation and communal life and practice. But those things that you're right now going like, oh, I wish I could change this about me. That's going to be your superpowers. And I think that's what I would tell myself is like, just trust God and enjoy the experience because it's going to change your life.
Yeah, and it did, right?
Yes.
100%. Question 4. What's been your favorite movie or TV show in 2024?
So I'm a huge movie fan, and just I'm a big movie person. So this I think might be actually the hardest question out of all of them to me to ask, because I've seen so many and experienced all that. But sometimes when you're a big movie fan, your favorite movie is the last one you saw. So for me, I watched this movie last night. It had a very limited run in the theaters, but it's out on video on demand now, and it's called Exhibiting Forgiveness.
Huh.
And it was written and directed by Titus Kaphar, who's an artist himself. And this is his first, he wrote it, directed it. It's his first like big production. But it's all about this artist who's kind of now on the path to greatness. And it's interrupted by a visit from his estranged father, who was a drug addict, who's coming to him now saying, I want your forgiveness. And it's all about how the past, the trauma of the past can kind of impact the future. And this main character has a son of his own, and he's trying to live, and he's still struggling with all this. But it's just a powerful movie. It's simple and easy. It's difficult at times. But I think for me, the one thing that really caught me was this notion of unforgiveness. And how for so many of us, we think, oh, this unforgiving nature, this unforgiveness is like a shield. It protects me from certain things. But ultimately, that unforgiveness can become a cage that traps you. Well, I'm not going to forgive this person because they did this to me. And it ends up trapping you. And it's only when we can kind of release ourselves by forgiving that we realize that the forgiveness really is more for us than the other person. And it's a struggle. Also, the movie highlights kind of the struggle between forgiveness and reconciliation, which can be the same sometimes, but also different in ways. So it's just if you get a chance, I'll say, and you find it, sometimes the small little movies can have the bigger impacts and can be amazing things. And this one last night really touched me greatly. So
sure. And what platform was that on again?
Amazon Prime has it to purchase, but I think of some of your other streaming, that's where I found it. But I think some of the other kind of pay-per video on demand services probably could have it there. But it just got released yesterday.
Nice.
So it's very impactful, and the acting is great. I wouldn't be surprised if there might be some Academy Award kind of nominations for some of them, or at least some awards for some of the actors in it, because they do a really amazing job.
That's great. And then finally, question 5, a question we ask a lot of folks. You're on a desert island, you have the scriptures with you. What's one other book or piece of music maybe that you might want to have with you?
Okay. So I would say book-wise, so everyone who knows me knows I'm a huge science fiction, like fantasy kind of person, but the sticking point was one book, and a lot of times those fantasy and sci-fi books need 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 books to really get the impact. So I'm going to surprise some people who know me when I say what book I'm going to do, I would want with me. It's the collected poems of Emily Dickinson.
Oh.
I've her poetry and her way of writing and way she does stuff has been just a big part of my life since my high school English teacher, my sophomore year in high school, kind of brought it to life. And I've got it right here in my office next to me in case I ever need to be kind of motivated or deal with the struggles I'm facing. So I would say definitely that would be the collected poems of Emily Dickinson on that island. Now, if I had a little bit of music as well, my favorite song is A Change Is Gonna Come. So that would be my because I think if I'm on a desert island by myself, I'm really gonna need to be hopeful that change is gonna come. So I think that would be my music choice to have on
Exactly.
here.
The mantra that keeps you going, right?
Yes.
Well, Father Ryan, at the Cathedral of Saint Andrew in Grand Rapids.
Yes.
It's been great having you. I hope you're enjoying your new assignment.
It's been great. I'm enjoying being here.
That's great. Yeah. So if you're ever in Grand Rapids, Michigan, check out the Cathedral of St. Andrew. Father Ryan Casey is there. I'm Deacon Mike Hayes. This has been 5 Questions with the Paulists. We'll see you all again next time.
Thank you.